that's why this election, which was supposed to be the revenge of the woman, instead became the year of the man.
What she said. How are you good people doing? Welcome to the channel Model Renaissance Man. I am Ty Smith. I appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to view my content. Make sure that you are following me on all the platforms you see above and below, and hitting this like button right here. This is how my content can consistently be recommended to you. And then if and when you do subscribe to the channel, make sure that you hit that bell notification right there. That way you should get notified when I post a video. But if your settings are not turned on in your phone, like you have to click on the little gear in your phone settings and make sure that your notifications for YouTube are turned on, okay? All right, folks, so we got to talk about this because I know that lady at the beginning got a lot of y'all's attention. Y'all probably like, what's she talking about? Yeah, you heard that right, because it pissed a lot of people off, particularly women, but a certain kind of woman, or like I should say, certain kind of women. Most of you being heavily influenced by radical, hardcore, left-leaning radical feminists. Heavily influenced by them. Some of you just influenced them up to the extent to where you felt that this was just about to be like a takeover. You thought that women were going to rise to the occasion and coerce their men into voting for Kamala Harris. You thought that overwhelmingly, that in general, all women were going to vote for Kamala Harris. But absolutely 100%, don't believe me, go look at the statistics. Kamala Harris actually lost women. Let that sink in. Kamala Harris lost women. Trump increased his percentage among men. He increased his percentage among black men. He increased his percentage among white men. He increased his percentage among Latino men. What? Anyway, I know y'all pissed off because I'm coming at y'all like that, but it's not the women that I'm coming at per se. It's the women of a certain mindset that I'm coming at like this, because y'all went too far. And we showed you that absolutely 100% we're not going for all this dumb stuff that y'all just like to keep in our complete, ridiculously, heavily, demonically manipulated societal, what y'all want to call norms right now. Anyway, I want you guys to check this video out and tell me what you think.
You know, I do a thing called a weave. If I start a story, what you do is you weave things and you do it. I always got more publicity than other people, and it wasn't like I was trying. In fact, I don't know exactly why. Maybe you can tell me why.
Oh, I could definitely tell you. You said a lot of wild
Maybe.
What would you say to them? Kids who want to pursue their own version of the American dream and try to achieve their wildest dreams and make it all come true?
I would say very simply, honestly, vote for Trump.
47th president-elect Donald Trump gained much-needed support amongst young Gen Z and millennial voters this election. Is his son Barron Trump a key reason?
Joining us now is the host of the Bongino Report Early Edition and my daughter, Evita Duffy. Evita, great to have you on. So let's just talk about Barron Trump, but also sort of in a bigger picture, the role that podcasts played in this election, particularly with the mail vote.
Yeah, well, what Barron did, advising his father to take the non-traditional media route, was really an amazing decision by the Trump campaign. Harris did not fill in that gap in the same way. And I think that's why Trump did so much better with young voters than he even did back in 2020. And it reflects changing media landscape at large. You have social media and podcasting, like you guys have at Fox Station, increasingly being more powerful than traditional media, particularly among young people. So Barron helped Trump meet young people where they're at, and at a really unique time, because a lot of young men, particularly right now, are revolting against the culture, against our institutions that hate them. And that's why this election, which was supposed to be the revenge of the woman, instead became the year of the man. Trump's support among men surpassed Harris's among women, 22 points to 14. Trump rallied low propensity young male voters, the frat boy vote. And it's not a meme vote either, right? People kind of think, oh, they're voting as a joke because Trump is funny. Young men are looking at their future, and it's bleak. There's a hatred of masculinity, economic ruin, war, and they went with Trump, who represents really a middle finger to the culture and institutions that are suffocating and demonizing them. You know, Evita, it's you mentioned kind of the characterization of men
Here is an example of that. A political analyst on media ecosystem, how that media ecosystem is turning men into fascists. Watch this.
What they have done in their online media ecosystem is build a radicalization engine, literally the way militant groups do around the world, that takes people from relatively low-level annoyances with the world. Why are eggs so expensive? Why is my kid learning this new thing in American history in school that I didn't learn? And then moves them through YouTube videos, through podcasts, moves them from that annoyance all the way, slowly, to a full-blown fascist politics. It's an elaborate multi-billion-dollar infrastructure, and there is nothing like it on the pro-democracy side. We don't have when a man is just lost and lonely and not yet radicalized, we don't have the equivalent of Joe Rogan and Jordan Peterson to move that man in a feminist direction. By the way, we should educate men that it's actually really great to live with a strong woman who makes money. It's actually easier. Life is easier.
The fascist ecosystem needs an alternative where we can feminize men, Evita.
That is one of the most hilarious sound bites I've ever seen, because the only reason why right-wingers have a lot of power on in the podcast sphere and alternative media is because the legacy media, people at CNN and MSNBC, have been excluding right-wing voices for years now. MSNBC and CNN, they want to know why you guys don't have a Joe Rogan. Because you did have a Joe Rogan. His name was Joe Rogan. He was pro-universal healthcare, pro-trans rights. He was a Bernie bro. And they have excluded anybody who doesn't fit in their specific political box for so long that we've gone in other routes. This is why young people are going for alternative voices.
Everything in that clip is wrong.
Yeah, I know.
Like every single thing in that clip is wrong. This whole idea that there's a right-wing echo chamber that's been built over time to service men and move them to the right.
To radicalize them?
Joe Rogan was on the left. Like, you did have the biggest podcast in the world. It was named Joe Rogan. And you ostracized him like you did Elon Musk and RFK and everybody else. It's crazy time.
Final thoughts, Evita.
Well, I'll just say that this has been happening for a long time. Young men have been moving away from the left for a long time. If you're an 18-year-old male, you were 11 during Me Too. You had the demonization of men for virtually as long as you can remember. You had during COVID, the schools shut down, no school dances, no sports. Young men have felt the real wrath of the left, and they're moving away in really extreme numbers. And it makes sense. And it's not fascism. It's just that Democrats have lost their way with young people.
All right, Evita Duffy, thank you so much for being with us this morning, Evita.
See, you saw that, you heard that. This is the reason why I'm a threat and others are a threat in these spaces like this. Because you guys get to hear it from regular people out there that got YouTube channels, that got podcasts. You get to hear it from us regular folks. And they don't like that. That's why right now, when I guess this year ends, this is going to be 2 full years of YouTube trying to figure out what happened to my 1.7 million subscribers. They still working on it. They releasing them every now and then, just like this past summer. Y'all seen it was a huge influx. I was getting like 10,000 subs like a week, whatever like that. Then it just stopped because YouTube is steady working on getting me all my subscribers that I'm supposed to have. Yeah, they claim I'm sitting at 1.7 million subs, but they are doing something, whatever. I don't even care. The point is, I know that the things that I talk about on this channel, I know that it encourages you guys. I know that it informs you guys. You guys are getting a real deal. No sugarcoating, no bull crapping or anything like that. I'm speaking my mind. I'm speaking for a lot of you on behalf of a lot of you, no matter your color, your creed, your sexuality, any of that. I'm just telling you and giving you the truth, right? They don't like that. When you say things like the news is having to compete with people like me, other YouTubers, Brandon Tatum, Candace Owens, the Hodge Twins, I don't care even if it's left-leaning podcast. The fact that you guys get to go over there and watch them, and you get to see other people like myself who goes on there and talk with these left-leaning folks. You get to see people that got channels like mine. We bring people on the panel. We talk and we discuss things. We get to see this stuff and talk and do these things in real time. So now the news and media are freaking out because nobody's caring about them. Nobody's watching them. Because we know that if they have a certain agenda out there, we're not for it. See, we don't sit there and we have our panels and things like that. We don't sit there and try to manipulate the conversation. We talk. We don't sit there, guys, we only got 3 minutes before we go on commercial break. We got to cut it. We can sit there and talk about this thing 2-3 hours in. And that's the biggest problem that they're having right now. So thank you guys, whether you are a subscriber, whether you are a content creator, when we have these panels and these discussions, and we have all these Americans around the United States come into these spaces and watch us talk, watch us hash it out, the good, the bad, the ugly, the funny, the not so funny, the offensive, whatever it is, at least they get to see what human beings really do instead of being pushed by what the media wants us to do, if y'all follow me. Anyway, let me know what you guys all think about all this by leaving it in the comments below after this video. Do not forget to do what you see in this cloud right here, if you would, please. If you want to see the next video that I will be doing in chronological order, it will be up here. Things that I do as a variety on this channel will be right here. I am Ty Smith, Modern Renaissance Man, and I hope and pray that every last one of you have food, shelter, and clothing, and most of all, I pray every last one of you guys are in great health, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. God bless you all through Jesus.